Well, hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about kind of how I prepare for a 50K and kind of also give you a little brief recap of the Yamacraw 50K that I did this last weekend. So let's get straight to it. So yep, Saturday was the Yamacraw 50K. Completed that in like 6 hours, 27-ish minutes in change. In my video that I did, I said that I was 16th position overall because the race timer told me I was 16th at the race, but when the official results came out, I showed up as 19th. So no big deal, 3 spots. My bib number was 19, and it's by Ultra sign up rank, how you're supposed to do in the race. And so I finished 19th, which was spot on. So way to go, Ultra sign up there. That was pretty cool. But anyway, we got some cool swag. I want to show you that too. The cup I showed you in the video briefly, I said was rubber. It's actually silicone. You can see it there. I mean, it's like squishy. So if you're out somewhere where you can't have glass and you want to have a adult beverage, pour it in here, you know, pretty cool. I like this. And then the metal is a really nice wooden metal here. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can see that. Real nice detail to it, design. Just really like that. It's pretty cool. So. And then of course the shirt, this is the race shirt right here. It's got the tipple or trestle bridge from Blue Heron, the pickaxe for mining. I did notice the date says April because of the postponement. The third postponement, the one due to flooding, moved it to May. But obviously they'd already had the shirts ordered for that, so no big deal. I don't care. It's still an awesome shirt. Love the comfort too. So the race started out well. Let's see, I started out towards the back of the pack because I just didn't know how my ankle was going to go. So I started out near the back, ran very conservatively, just with some people, and chatted for the first, I was really with people for about the first 13 miles. I think we came to the second aid station. I believe it was the second aid station. And that's where I left the main group that I was with and went off solo basically for the rest of the race. You know, caught up with a couple of people here and there, but for most of it I was by myself, which is fine. I have no issues with that. But the race went well. You know, the heat was a factor. It definitely heated up towards the end of the race. I sweat a ton and had a couple of cramping issues where I felt the legs were going to cramp. Luckily they didn't cramp until about mile 30 where I had a really bad hamstring cramp. Pro tip for you guys, if you take what I call a direct shot, it's where I take a salt pill, open it up, pour it underneath of my tongue and just let it sit there for, you know, about a minute. And then I, you know, put some water or whatever drink I'm drinking in my mouth, swish it around and swallow it. But that just helps it get in your bloodstream a little bit quicker and helps get those cramps at bay much faster if you don't have pickle juice, which pickle juice is the best thing if you can do that. Or mustard, but I hate mustard. So yeah, the race went well though, finished. Got to go across the finish line and see my wife. She was there handing out the cups and medals. She pretty much she didn't really sign up to volunteer, but she volunteered for a couple hours doing that, which was really cool to help out. But it was a good race, you know. I'm very happy with how I did. You know, I finished 19th, which was a huge surprise. I figured I would be probably further back than that just with the ankle and my lack of training. But, you know, conditioning wise, I felt good. Aerobically, I felt fine. Well, let me rephrase that. Aerobically, I felt fine, and cardiovascularly. But conditioning wise, no, I definitely did not have the miles I needed in my legs for this. You know, that's why I cramped up. My legs just weren't used to running a 50K. I hadn't done a 50K in quite a while. I hadn't done more than, I hadn't done more than 12 miles in a single run in 2 months. So I haven't been done a lot of running, long distance. But my legs responded pretty well, except for that little cramping issue. So overall, the race went well. I do have an appointment tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So when you guys are watching this Wednesday, I do have an appointment with an orthopedic specialist. I'm going to go get the ankle examined again, and I'm hoping to get an MRI. So I'll probably have to start that process and fight, you know, doing the x-rays and then finally get an MRI, hopefully, to take a look at this ankle, because I really do, after talking with some more people, I really do think I have a fracture inside the ankle somewhere. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, as of now, Laurel Highland 70.5 miler is up in the air. It's probably more of like a 75-80% that I don't go, if I'm being honest. You know, I have no doubt that I could go and finish it. under the cutoff and do okay. But long term, I don't know if that's the smartest choice for me. I've got a 100-mile race coming up in October, the No Business 100. I need to have time to heal and be healthy. So we'll see what the doctor says and what happens through all of this, and I'll keep you guys updated. I do want to talk about kind of how I prepare for a 50K, in the days leading up to it, and maybe kind of how I recover as well. Just give you guys some, what I do, and maybe it, works for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. I don't know. Try it. Find out what works for you. That's the main thing. But for me, leading up to a 50K, I mean, honestly, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I don't get nervous for a 50K anymore. Even really for a 100K, I don't get nervous. Or I mean, shoot, even before No Business, I wasn't nervous. I guess it's because I've done the distance and I know that I can do it. I know my training, I know my base, and I know what I can do. So have confidence in yourself is the main thing. And I do in myself. So that's the main thing. I don't get nervous. But a couple things that I do leading up to the race. So if I have a race on, let's say, a Saturday, Wednesday would be the last day that I would have any alcohol. So I don't normally drink much anyway. Maybe 1-2 drinks a week. Maybe at night I'll have a glass of scotch or a beer once or twice a week. Not much. The beach trip was an exception. But yeah, Wednesday would be the cutoff for any last alcohol. That way I have all of Thursday and Friday to fully hydrate with water, electrolyte drinks, and just make sure my body is ready to race on Saturday. Leading up to the race, also, food-wise, I make sure we eat vegan anyway, so we eat pretty healthy. I don't really change my diet at all. The only thing I do like to do is the night before the race, so a Friday night, if that race is Saturday, I like to have a pasta dinner. For us being vegan, my favorite is, it's basically a vegan take on an Alfredo style pasta. I like the bow tie pasta, the farfalle pasta, mixed with, we use it's a cashew cream sauce, and it tastes like an Alfredo. It's actually really, really good. And then we usually have peas with it, because peas have some good protein in them, some mushrooms, and also sun-dried tomatoes. And then occasionally we'll put in some soy-based sausages in there as well for some extra protein, but just a lot of good carbohydrates. The great thing I love about that as well is with the cashew cream sauce, even for those that aren't vegan, not having dairy is a huge thing, because sometimes, dairy, even people that are, eat a regular diet, they might be lactose intolerant, or dairy might upset them a little bit. And getting that out of your body before a race, or not putting it into your body, is huge. So maybe consider that. Race morning, I typically have a bagel with almond butter and then a banana. So for this race, because it was in the Eastern time zone and we had to leave so early, I did have a bagel with almond butter. And then once we got to the event check-in area, I had a banana there as well, because it's basically kind of like a second small breakfast. And then I drink coffee before the race as well. I don't shy away from coffee. I love that. And then I drink some water. And that's it. That's all I do. I don't do anything mentally to try to get in the zone or get psyched, because I trust normally I trust my training, but my training wasn't there this time. I just trust myself, and I have confidence in me. I know what I can do. So I don't get nervous. I don't have to do anything to try to psych myself up. But that's just me. Other people do things to do that, and that's fine. So whatever works for you. After the race, I know a lot of people love to just, get that finish line beer and drink beer. I would strongly recommend against that. When you finish, you need to hydrate with a lot of water and a good drink with carbohydrates as well, and a little protein. For me, when I finished, in the video, I mentioned how I was getting low on water towards the end because I was conserving. I didn't know exactly how far the race was going to be. So when I finished, I drank like 2 of these full of water, and then I had probably another 2 or 3 of these full of Gatorade that they had there at the finish line as well, just trying to get liquids back into me. And then I also had my Tailwind Rebuild recovery drink, which has kind of a 4-to-1 ratio of carbohydrates to protein. And I really like that. It really helps the muscles start repairing themselves and getting those carbohydrates back in, that glycogen back into your body. So I think that's key. And then, you know, throughout the day, I'll drink a lot of water. I mean, just tons and tons of water. And you know, I might have a beer that night, but typically I will not. I will save the beer till the next day. And I did that Sunday. You know, I had the Yamacraw Ball Hoot Black IPA, and it was delicious from Jarfly Brewing. It was really, really good. But I had that Sunday. And it's just, you know, you need to, we train well and we take care of our bodies leading up to the race, but we need to do so after the race as well. And recovery is a huge aspect of that. I also foam roll the day of the race. So after the race, I think it's very, very key and critical to foam roll that night. It really helps the next day then, so you're not going to be as sore. I foam roll on the next day as well, and the next day, pretty much every day. But I really, really firmly believe that foam rolling after the race helps me personally tremendously. We do have the Air Relax leg compression system as well. I haven't used it, but I should have. You know, that would help too. So just take care of the body, hydrate, fuel well. Don't stuff a bunch of junk food in the body after the race either. I know people sometimes want to do that. And it works. I mean, it's fine. I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is just what works for me. I did have a veggie burger at the site because that's what they had, which was awesome. I'm glad they had the veggie option. So then that night we had vegan pizza as well, which, you know, which was really good. I ate a bunch of that. So, you know, do what works. But that's kind of my recovery process as far as runs go. I did not do anything Sunday other than edit that video because it took a long time. It took me like 5-6 hours to edit the video. So I didn't do any running, any biking. And then Monday I did a short bike ride with my son Anders, which was good. Maybe 40 minutes. Very, very easy on the bike. But I'm honestly going to probably take a couple days off running just to see what what happens with my doctor's appointment tomorrow and find out. But I kind of follow a general rule that I found listening to some podcasts of some elite runners that for every 10 miles that you race, you should take a day off completely. I did not race the Yamacraw 50k. I ran it. Racing meaning a very high effort, hard. You're pushing your body to as much as you can. So I'm fine with, I could go run yesterday or today, except for the ankle's a little internally. I think there's something wrong, so I'm not running. But normally after a 50k, I'm back to running that Monday. That's what I do. I take Sunday off. If I do race it, might take Monday off as well, then run Tuesday. But that's what works for me. Bottom line, that's the biggest caveat to all of this. Do what works for you. If you have something that works and it's worked for a long time and you've not been injured, keep doing it. You know, if you had issues and you're trying to find something else, maybe try one of these things. I don't know. Do you. You do you. I'll do me. But yeah, that's it. I know it's kind of a long chit chat session today. Hope you guys enjoyed some of the info there. Exciting thing coming up too next week. So Thursday, June 3rd, I'm going to be doing a live stream. Typical time, you know, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to be interviewing and chatting with Hunter Leiniger. If you guys don't know who Hunter is, Hunter Leiniger is a 20-year-old out of Georgia. His dad is a race director for AR Georgia. I think it's Adventure Racing Georgia. But they did the Eco Challenge that was just on Amazon Prime. But Hunter recently set the FKT on the Vert.Run trail. It's like a 282-mile trail, I believe, with like over 70,000 feet of elevation gain. Really technical. And he set the FKT on. He's only 20 years old. So he's pretty cool guy. I listened to a podcast with him on the Adventure Jogger. But I think it should be a good time. So I hope you guys can make it. We'll chat. I'll ask him questions, but we'll take your questions as well about, you know, whatever, running the FKT, how he prepares, all that type of stuff. So please put it on your calendar, June 3rd, Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. Hope to see you guys there. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to hit that like button. Really does help out the channel. And also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be cool. So thank you, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Yeah.